Just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in. Say,
oh, God.
So me and Joe on the ground, I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
The spirit plane had some issues. I think she was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show. I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today is Friday, October 13th. Spooky Friday.
Ooh.
It is also...
Oh, jihad.
What?
You didn't know about that?
What?
They promised holy war today. Be careful. Stay inside.
Well, that's not where I was going
On
with
Friday
this.
the 13th.
That's not where I was going with this. I was saying it's our good friend, co-host, Jared Mitchell's birthday today.
Oh, yeah.
Show some respect
Yeah,
over here.
Jesus Christ.
Good
I mean,
God.
that
Doom
is
and gloom? Take
coming
it
in
easy.
dark. It's Friday. It's Feel Good
good
Friday.
God.
It's Feel Good Friday, Freaky Friday. It's February 13th.
Happy birthday.
It is the eve.
Thank you.
That's very happy birthday, man.
Why, thank you.
You're what, 25, 26?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Somewhere
You're
in
good.
there.
You don't
Forever
look a day
young.
over 25.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Happy
That's the only thing
birthday.
that matters. You're 25 years old. You look great. Happy birthday
Yeah,
to you.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Any
I
special
appreciate
plans?
it. I'm going to go to the planetarium tonight, man.
I
Sounds
know, you
like a
told me
great
that.
idea to me.
You told me that, and
Yeah.
honestly, like, I'm pretty jealous of you
Yeah.
because I've been to the planetarium one time, but it was in Chicago. I don't even know we had one here in Baton Rouge, which is my fault.
I'll let you
I
know.
had a great time.
Hey, I'll let you know.
It was awesome.
I plan on having me a good time tonight.
Should.
That man's not making it to the tailgate tomorrow.
Oh,
be
you
there.
can't be there.
I'll be there
You
too.
gotta be there.
6 p.m.
Speaking of tailgate, big
great.
game tomorrow. Weather, we kind of got a little taste of fall weather here in
Yeah.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. LSU is coming off a big 2 road games. 1 loss, 1 win. You know, obviously they had some issues. They've worked to fix some of those issues. We're going to talk about some of the things that we want to see this week. It's a whole different type of matchup compared to the last 2 teams they faced. But they play Auburn at home at 6 o'clock. The weather is glorious. The weather is going to continue to be glorious throughout the course of the weekend. It's actually glorious this time. Last time I said it, I was really just trying to force it to happen. This time it really is. It's going to be great. A lot of people out there, a lot of energy for the game. Every game now still really matters. Probably more now than ever, because LSU, if they go and just take care of business, the teams they need to, and win these games, they have an opportunity to be in the SEC championship game. And if you win that game, you obviously have an opportunity to be in the playoffs. So big weekend, not only here at LSU, but in college football in general. The Pac-12, which is going to be no more after the end of this year, decides to have their best football season in a very long time as a conference. USC goes on the road to play Notre Dame. USC is ranked 10th in the country. That is a big matchup. Oregon is on the road at Washington. Oregon is ranked 8th. Washington is 7th. Obviously, both of those have two quarterbacks that are in the Heisman Trophy conversation. Both of them, I feel like, have been in college football for 17 years. Right? I mean, they've been there for a long time. They're obviously seasoned. They're ready to go. They put up some big-time numbers. That is going to be a good game. A&M is on the road at Tennessee. A&M coming off a loss against Alabama. Jimbo seems like his time is starting to run out. I don't know when that is going to be. I don't know when the A&M faithful are going to just write the check and say, okay, time to move on. But I think this is a big game for them. If they can go on the road at Tennessee and get a win, kind of keeps them relevant, and they can go and try to right the ship through the rest of the year. Miami plays on the road at North Carolina after the big debacle that they had last week.
What do you think they've been focused on in practice?
Well, listen, that is
that's a loser locker room
that's Mario
type of
Cristobal's MO. We do not kneel. Old school football, baby. We're just going to run out. Kneeling is not a football play. Well, probably should have been. And we were talking about this morning. Not only did they fuck up and don't do that and fumble, they still had to give up a Hail Mary. And it wasn't a Hail Mary where the guys run around, throws the ball up, the defenders tip it, and it ends up on the receiver's up. No.
Like you saw, last night.
Like you saw last night. No, not that. It is, they had a receiver run a route, get behind the secondary, and you have three people chasing him, and the ball's in stride. Touchdown. That's bad. It was just all around bad.
Haynes King dropping dimes.
Manage and or misplay
Haynes
that
King.
any worse than what they did.
That's fireable. It's bad. We talked about it. They're on the road at North Carolina. Obviously, North Carolina is ranked 12th. Miami is 25th.
Heavy on North Carolina.
Yes, I would be too.
Too good at play.
There's a bunch of really good college football games. We're in the meat of it. We're in the center of college football now. We're right in the middle of the season. Obviously, every game now starts to matter even more. But what really matters to us is this LSU-Auburn game. We have everything Auburn. We're going to have a big conversation on what Auburn brings to the table, what the challenges are against LSU or for LSU. When we talk to Matt Cohen, he's coming on the show at 1:15 via video call. He is a writer for AL.com. He covers Auburn for AL.com, and he's going to have everything Auburn. So we're looking forward to having this conversation with him. Other question before we really get into the college football talk. Is Russell Wilson broken? Like unfixable? I think it is. I thought, to me, if Sean Payton can't go there and fix you, I think you're unfixable. I think you're broken. Because what he's been doing has been absolutely abysmal. He had 95 yards passing yesterday in an NFL football game, and it just doesn't look like he's competent as I don't know what the hell's happened to him.
Like, outside of last night's game, I don't think the numbers are, like, that bad, like, that crazy.
Well, he was a 7th-rated fantasy football quarterback, which means the numbers are there.
But when you watch him play, it just don't look anything like it used to look. And it's mind-boggling. I never seen anybody, like, go from, like, a dude to a straight-up dud, like, every time you see him out there. And the look that's on his face all the time now looks like he's confused and like a deer in the headlights. Is I can't explain. I've never seen anything like it.
Not a good leader, not making plays on the field. Just Sean Payton's going to say, hey, listen, we're going to have a high draft pick next year. We're drafting a quarterback, and whatever I have to pay you to get lost, you're gone. Whatever I have to eat in your contract, I just have to imagine his time in Denver is not there.
It looks like he's playing himself a way into a
out of the Hall of Fame.
A nice check.
Hall of Fame ain't even a conversation.
It looks like he's playing himself away into
Yeah.
a nice check and like a clipboard or a couch. Like that's what it looks like right now.
Yeah, he'll be a backup.
He's
that's-
not gonna.
I mean,
he's
Willie.
done.
Hey, like I'm asking this question like seriously. Like Willie, like
His-
he's
what-
not the same character as like a Cam Newton type. But let's be honest, bro. If he's in somebody's
He's got a
building,
big ego.
If he not
No
just
doubt.
that, if he's in somebody's building, like the cameras are gonna go to him, and people are gonna go to ask him questions. And if he ain't playing, it's more of a distraction than it is a help.
He'll get more camera time on the sidelines than the starter. will.
100%.
Exactly.
I'm with you. Okay, he's not going to be a backup. He's playing as a backup, right? Like his
backup
ability on the
football
field
right
is a backup quarterback talent right now. Like he's not doing anything that you want as a starting quarterback.
Him
He's
or
not going to
Gardner
accept that
Minshew.
role, though.
Him or Gardner Minshew.
I'd take Gardner Minshew over
Me
him.
too.
I would take
Right
Gardner
now,
Minshew.
yeah,
over him.
of course.
At least I know
course.
Gardner Minshew is going to go work his ass off and try to fucking win a game.
Russell works hard. He'll always be the first one to tell you.
Yeah, he'll show you to you. He'll show you.
I think
when you
he's
show
gonna-
him you're working hard, I don't think you're working that hard.
I think he's gonna run for president.
Well, that'd be the.
Just makes me wonder, like, what was he doing in that office last year?
He was calling
Obviously.
plays from Wisconsin.
But obviously, it wasn't like breaking down film. Like, what was he doing up there?
In his office? Yeah.
Yeah, what was he doing up there in that office last year?
Bro, it's
Telling you, political candidate.
not. He ain't doing that.
He have
Anyway.
a yoga mat in there. Like, what was he doing in there?
Running on the
The
plane.
Chiefs, and look, the Chiefs haven't played great. The Chiefs haven't had to play great. The Chiefs beat the Broncos 18-9. No, 20. That's
Whatever
not right.
11 is.
Yeah, whatever 11 is. Whatever
I
11
don't know what
is.
that number would be.
My
Did you hear how
double-digit spread thing is not working this year.
We keep trying to tell him to go ahead and fade those Thursday night games. He just
Unders.
Just
No, it's
can't
not the under.
unders.
I didn't bet the unders, but it's not the over/under that I'm betting. It's the they're 10.5. I took the 10.5. I thought I was going to get it at the end of the game, and then of course the Broncos fumbled the ball, and then didn't work out. Anyway,
Did you hear Al Michaels on the call?
I didn't listen to what he said.
He goes, 11. An important number to very many people out there probably watching the Thursday night game. He goes, you can't get a half a point in football.
And it was.
You
And
could've
it
bought
was.
half a
And I was
point.
one of those people watching it. We were flipping. We were watching the game. I was flipping back between the Thursday night football game. Why are you doing what you're doing?
I know him.
Oh, okay.
Know them.
Back and forth between the Thursday night football game and the Braves Phillies game. The Braves. The more this happens, the more I'm starting to realize the Braves are going to be like the 1990s.
The 90 Braves. Yeah.
Like they are going to be dominant in the regular season. They're going to win all their divisions, and they're going to have one World Series to show for it. And it's just kind of what it feels like. The Phillies have their number in the postseason. The Phillies kind of feel like they've figured out how to win in the postseason. Obviously, I felt like if they don't win that game in Philadelphia, they're probably going to lose a series at home. To the Braves in Atlanta. I felt like they had to win that game. They do it. Nick Castellanos.
Clutch.
He's doing Nick Castellanos things. 2 home runs in 2 straight games. Don't tell him that. Actually, you can tell him that, but if you're going him to comment on that, you better ask him a question.
Hey, I'm with you though. I felt like Atlanta needed to sweep in Atlanta because when you had to play at least 2 more in Philly in 3 straight, it was going to be hard to sweep Philly 3 straight games.
No doubt.
It's not what you like. I felt like they needed those 2 in Atlanta. They didn't get them. So
No doubt. No doubt. They got one because of the way it ended it. But if they went back to Atlanta, I felt like Atlanta was going to win.
Yeah.
The Phillies threw. Hey, listen. The Phillies threw Atlanta banged all year. I think if you go down their lineup, they had 5 or 6 guys with 30+ home runs.
No. That lineup was like historic this year.
And they did not hit. They did not
They didn't
swing
hit.
well
They
at
show
all.
up, yeah.
They did not hit. They did not produce any runs, hit homers, nothing throughout the course of the entire series. Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Take
that
it easy.
happened. We
Take
had
it
Mitch
easy
one
over
this morning, and he just burped directly into the
By the
microphone.
way,
Acid
Yeah,
reflux over there.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
I took a swallow and it just almost
yeah.
came back up. It wouldn't have been
Yeah.
good.
Little
Hey, yo.
dragon
You know what?
nose.
Yeah.
You know what?
We're going to get back to the baseball conversation in a second because I don't want to keep our next guest waiting. Matt Cohen, writer for AL.com, covering all things Auburn. Obviously, we know what we see on TV. We know what we hear from the media and the publications. We're not behind the scenes. We don't know really what's going on behind the scenes at Auburn. Hopefully, Matt Cohen does. Matt, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Welcome.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
You're very responsible. Very responsible by you to stop and pull over to do this.
Well, so here's the thing. So I have never been to Louisiana at all before.
So I'm actually lost right now.
No, I'm about a block off Bourbon Street right now. I just couldn't find a good place to that was quiet. Just went with the car.
No, this is your best.
So here we are.
This is your best bet. Look, we love this. That's part of the show. The beauty of a FaceTime or video call, you can do it from anywhere. We appreciate you coming on. Welcome to Louisiana. Listen, you're in the right spot.
Thank you guys for having me.
You're in the right spot. Now, just be careful, though, because you're in New Orleans, and there's a lot of alcohol that goes down that's consumed there, a lot of food. And sometimes it's hard to make it back to Baton Rouge in time for responsibilities. We've been there.
He went straight to
We
Bourbon.
almost did it last weekend.
He went straight to Bourbon.
He went straight to Bourbon. Look, he knows what he's doing. We appreciate that.
Doesn't type in Louisiana, types in Bourbon Street.
That's it.
that actually is what I did. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I love that. All right, let's get into it, man. So Auburn and LSU, obviously, they have a history of playing some absolutely crazy games, right? It doesn't matter how good one team is or how bad the other team is. The games are going to be pretty tight. There's going to be some sort of drama at the end of it. Auburn comes to Baton Rouge in a situation that there's a big transition. They have a new coaching staff. They're kind of running a 2-quarterback system. They're leaning on the physicality of their running game and on the defense. How is the transition, the Hugh Freeze transition, going? How's that going in Auburn right now?
Here's the thing. I think the problem fans have is that there's not a lot of patience that's given to a rebuilding program. So it's pretty clear. Auburn is not, traditional Auburn. It's unless you want to put it in the sense of Auburn playing weird football as traditionally Auburn. If that's the case, then yes, this is definitely still Auburn. The problem is that this roster just isn't really ready to compete at the top of the SEC with some, and I'm thinking the perennially recently top tier teams, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, recently Tennessee, that whole bunch. It's just on paper not that same roster, and I think that's okay. The problem is that obviously there's the expectation that you can compete in some of these games. It's been weird for Auburn so far. They've been terrible on the road. They can't really have yes, they have 2 quarterbacks. It's not really a product of having 2 really great options at quarterback. It's part of having 2 kind of mediocre options at quarterback between Peyton Thorne and Robbie Ashford. I think it's an interesting question here because you're looking at Peyton Thorne as the guy who's going to be your more reliable thrower of the football, and he has been terrible throwing the football. I think Auburn has the worst passing offense in the SEC based on passing yards per game. But they have the first or second best rushing offense, and that's because they have so many people who can run the ball, whether it's shockingly Peyton Thorne, who I believe is the team's leading rusher. Then you have Jarquez Hunter, who hasn't been that great this season. Damari Alston was great before he hurt his shoulder. There's a chance he might be back this week, but that seems kind of doubtful. Brian Batiste, the third-string running back, actually a former All-American, the kick returner at USF, but before he transferred to Auburn. He's been really great in a kind of a smaller role. So you have a lot of guys who can run the football. Robbie Ashford, the other quarterback, has been really good inside the red zone. So that's kind of where Auburn is right now. They are a running football team, but they just don't have a lot else on offense. And the defense has been really good, but the offense has been kind of the big question mark here.
I mean, they played Georgia tough. Obviously, they had an opportunity to win that game. They were winning for a little bit. And obviously, Georgia ends up winning at the end of the game. You mentioned Robbie Ashford. Obviously, he played against LSU before. LSU has seen him, run around and have some success with his legs. Does Auburn use him in a way outside of just that quarterback position? Do they have him and Peyton Thorne on the field at the same time with those types of packages? And if they don't, or can we see that moving forward?
Best tackler on the team.
They have not had them both in the same package at the same time. Could that happen in the future? I'm not sure. I don't think they've really, at least from what we've seen in practice, which is a pretty limited amount, I don't think I've ever recalled seeing Robbie Ashford anywhere but quarterback. And it definitely is a scenario where it would be Ashford put elsewhere and not Thorne if they were to go that route. I think it's just because Ashford's a better athlete.
Right.
But I don't see that happening. especially because if you put Ashford in that package where it's like he's on the field at the same time as Peyton Thorne, you kind of telegraph what you're going to do with the ball. But I do think Ashford is going to have a pretty significant role here. Hugh Freeze, after the Georgia game, said they had a package for Robbie Ashford and didn't use him as much as wanted to. Generally, he's been at his best kind of inside the 20-yard line. It's just like a quick guy with the ball that can make some play in a short yardage situation inside the red zone, for example. So I think that's kind of still his role here, and I think that's how he's going to be used again. Auburn had a ton of success. It seemed like getting the ball to the perimeter against Georgia with whoever was running the ball, whether it be a quarterback or a running back, both quarterbacks, that is. So I think that's kind of where you see Ashford. I think they would like to use him more than they did against Georgia, but they've also said that kind of every game that they wish they used Robbie Ashford more, so I'm not really sure what to believe there. So the short story is he's going to play.
Yeah.
And he's going to play quarterback. The question is how many snaps.
Right.
And I don't think that's really known week to week.
Matt, 24 points in 2 total road games this year, coming off of 2 straight losses with a bye week right here. I got to imagine in, year 1 of Hugh Freeze, correct? I got to imagine in year 1 of Hugh Freeze this year, this is a monumental opportunity coming into Tiger Stadium with this and knowing how they've played on the road. Is that sense of urgency kind of been the tone of the team this week, and how do you think that they're taking into this opportunity this week?
So in my opinion, I think there's 2 separate answers there, and it's the players versus the coach. The players obviously want to win this game. Like, you've never heard a player say, nah, whatever, we'll get them next year. But I think the coaches, and especially Hugh Freeze, is fully aware that, like, obviously he's trying to win this game. He's not going to wave the white flag. He said it himself. Like, Auburn's roster on paper does not really match up here. So you're coming in and you are clearly the underdog, just based on the betting lines, based on the roster itself. And I'm basing that on obviously just like what you look at the roster, but also just the pure basis of 4- and 5-star talent. Auburn just can't match what other SEC schools have right now because they recruited so badly in the Brian Harsin era. So you're kind of having to play that like underdog spoiler type role, and I think the players kind of like that. And I also don't think like Hugh Freeze is sugarcoating that to the players. He's very honest with very honest with both the media and the players. It seems like about like, yeah, we are clearly the second best team in this game, but let's show people something. Is this a statement win if Auburn were to go in and do it? Absolutely. Like you mentioned, 24 points on the road. That's bad enough where you even consider 7 of those were a defensive touchdown. So it's like they've been really bad on the road. And like the competition hasn't mattered because they went out to Cal. And Cal is obviously not an SEC defense, and they were terrible against Cal. Like they should have lost that game. Go to Texas A&M, obviously a much better defense. You scored 3 points on offense. It was just they've just been really bad, and I can't sit here and say confidently like, yeah, you're going to go into a night game in Tiger Stadium and figure everything out on offense. On the flip side of that, LSU's defense, and I haven't watched a ton of LSU film. I mean, I've seen some of that.
There's no film on the
there watching every
defense.
single second of LSU.
No, we've burned all the film. We've burned it all.
There's no more evidence. We're not sending it to anyone. You can't see it. Good luck.
Yeah.
And that's because they've been bad on defense, quite bad. When I was looking at the stats, I never ever thought I'd look at an LSU defense and think, yeah, they're statistically ranked in the bottom 10 total defenses in the country. I never ever thought I would see that. So, like, if there's a chance for Auburn to figure it out, I guess, so to speak, this is the defense to do it against. But I also I don't know. Like,
yeah,
it's a get right game for both parties.
Lloyd, you got one for him?
I do. It's a get right. Both LSU's ranked 121 on defense, and then Auburn's ranked 121 on offense.
Yeah.
So you have a battle of the Titans. But if you're an Auburn fan and coming from y'all's perspective, you had a bye week coming into this game. Or is there anything that LSU fans should expect from Hugh Freeze, whether it be a trick play or something different offensively that LSU should expect to see? Because you saw the Peyton Thorne, I guess I didn't know he could run like that against Georgia, and you got the quarterback. You got the quarterback sweeps coming out of nowhere. So is there anything that they've done schematically different where you've had a week to prepare?
I think they haven't changed much schematically. I think they just kind of work with some technical things. They just had so many players that didn't really get here until fall camp. So they're still working on learning the offense. So I don't think schematically is different. You just have extra time to kind of work on, hey, here's how you line up in the right spot. Here's the right route to run here. Here's the right call, stuff like that. just everyone feels a little bit more comfortable. I also think the bigger thing they've gotten out of this bye week is a chance to just rest, because they are so banged up. There's the chance that Auburn could get Damari Olston back this week is purely a product of getting the bye week. I don't think some of these long-term injuries that they have, which is to running linebacker and Austin Keys, starting corner and Keontae Scott, I don't think those guys are going to be back. There's also a chance that Jalen Simpson, a safety for Auburn, might not play. He probably would not have played last week. He got hurt in the fourth quarter against Georgia, and I don't think it's a coincidence that right when he got hurt is right when Brock Bowers went for like 100 yards in 2 seconds. So having him in would make a huge difference. He leads the nation in interceptions. So I think the biggest thing here is just the chance to rest, and the chance to kind of learn more of the offense without having to, focus on like this is the specific game prep per se, but also just have this, like sit back, watch film, learn. So I think you're going to see generally the same Auburn process, but maybe just a little bit more tightened, so to speak.
So I know, look, we're trashing Auburn a little bit. We're not giving them a lot of credit. We're obviously, they've had their issues. LSU's had their issues as well. The one thing Auburn has done pretty consistently, I think you just touched on a little bit, is play good defense, right? They've been very physical. They run the football really well. Obviously, LSU's got a potent offense. You'd have to imagine Auburn is going to try to limit their possessions by trying to control the clock. And Auburn on the defensive side has been very good on first downs on the defensive side, keeping teams behind the chains, off schedule, and allowing their defense to be able to keep their offense in games. What can LSU fans or the football fans in general expect from this Auburn defense and this coming weekend?
I think the best thing Auburn can do, which is I think especially important for this matchup, is the experience they have in the secondary. And that's going to matter because you're not going to see a ton, they're going to happen some, but you're not going to see a ton of like stupid penalties or anything like that, because it's an experienced veteran group in the secondary. The issue they more so have is they haven't found a consistent pass rush. So while they've been good at kind of, like swarming to the ball, making tackles, just being just super solid in general, they haven't really, done a lot of like big showcase plays from a pass rush standpoint. But the secondary has been really good at forcing turnovers. Jalen Simpson, as I said, leads the nation in interceptions. So I think just being generally solid. I don't think there's anything super flashy about what Auburn does. They're just really solid everywhere. And they've got a pretty good bit of depth just because they've been able to keep this up despite the number of, potentially 2 to 3 starters. Actually, well, definitely 3 starters being out this week with long-term injuries, potentially 4, and they're still been fine. And that's going to matter a ton because obviously LSU's passing offense is really good. So whereas you have like Auburn's offense versus LSU's defense, like kind of jokingly said, is like a stoppable object versus a movable force. On the opposite side, it's LSU's offense, which has been unstoppable, versus Auburn's defense, which has been pretty good. So I think that's kind of where this game's going to be won and lost, so to speak, is you're not going to stop LSU, but if you can, force some field goals, LSU, I think Auburn has, I forget the exact stat, but they're definitely top 5 in terms of red zone defense. So if that shows up, Auburn, I don't know if I'm going to say it so far as Auburn wins the game, but Auburn
keep it within 11 and a half, cover the spread.
Right, exactly. The cover play.
Yeah. Jay, you got something?
Yeah, Hugh Freeze's, we'll go with skyscraper takes on Jaden. Is that coach speak, or do you think he actually has a chance to contain him?
Maybe a little both. I think some of the comments of comparing this LSU offense to the 2019 LSU offense may be a little stretch, and it's not being critical of this offense at all. I think that's just more so praise of the 2019 offense. So I think that's a little much on Hugh Freeze's part, but I also don't think he's wrong in saying this is the best offense in college football this season. Maybe Washington is the only other one that could make an argument. Yeah. I believe Jaden Daniels leads the SEC in passing yards by a decent margin. Yep.
I think he may be leading the country, or maybe second in the country in passing yards.
Yeah, he's got to be up there. I know that much.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to stop him, but contain him. If you can, if containing them could be a bend don't break defense that forces LSU into a 20-yard field goal because they got down to the 10, stalled out, I think you'd be happy with that if you're Auburn.
All right, so obviously you know that we're kind of a betting show. We just talked about the spread. We appreciate all your time. I don't want to keep you too much from Bourbon Street. You're right there. I can see everybody moving around.
He's already on it.
It's just I think you're owed a drink. You're in Louisiana. You should go do it. Stay away from the hand grenades.
No, you have to have one.
No.
Okay.
They're delicious.
Stay away from Dauphine Street.
You can have one, maybe half of one, but if you drink too much, you're going to feel very bad tomorrow. Okay?
If you get all the way to Dauphine Street,
Yeah,
you've
that's
gone
a good
too
point.
far. Just come on back to it.
Come on home.
So this is my last question before I let you go, and so you can enjoy New Orleans, enjoy Bourbon Street. LSU's the line is 11.5. The over/under is 60. Right? Obviously, Auburn hangs their hat on physicality, shortening the game with the offense and playing good defense. LSU has a potent offense. Their defense leaves a lot to be desired. Do you see them going over, under the 60 points, and do you see Auburn covering the 11.5?
So someone asked me about what I thought the score would be earlier this week, and at that point I had no idea what the spread was, like no idea what the over or anything was. And the score I gave was 38-27, which kind of without thinking about it was exactly on that 11 line. So I think, one, Vegas always knows what they're doing. But two, I guess I would say because that's right under the line, I don't know. I don't feel like Auburn covers. And I say that because I just don't think they can score enough. Now, I think it's going to be, like, you're going to be sweating it out no matter what side of the line you're on. I think it's going to be close to that 11.5. So I guess I would say LSU by more of like a 12 to 13 point margin, maybe 14 points. And I think that in a scenario where it's the bad offense versus the bad defense, I think the bad defense is going to be what kind of wins out in that point because they're at home. On paper, they should not be this bad on defense. And this might be the bad enough offense that you could do it against.
I couldn't agree more. I think the over's going to hit, and I think LSU's going to cover the 11.5. Matt, I appreciate your time, man. I enjoyed having this conversation. Please enjoy New Orleans and enjoy Louisiana. Enjoy your first trip to Louisiana.
Gotcha. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited for it.
Yep, thank you, bro. We loved it.
Is he staying in New Orleans, you think?
He might not make it
Coach,
down
if
tomorrow.
he's staying in New Orleans, he's
That
going to be in a predicament.
He might not make it down
tomorrow
here tomorrow. I'm just going to put it out there like that.
What?
He might not make it down here tomorrow. I'm just
Coach,
going to put it out there.
I mean, here's the deal.
New Orleans to get everybody.
If you're in New Orleans the night before, you either have to wake up and be miserable that ride home that early that next morning, or you're just not going to be in town in time. That's just the way it works. Like, there's no in between. I'm gonna wait till I'm gonna wake up. I have a nice little breakfast.
Maybe
and then
walk
I'll take
around,
my time
get a
and get down there.
coffee.
No. You only leave.
Somebody didn't give him good information about how to do this thing and what time to get here. I feel I'm worried about him, man. I'm not sure he's gonna be here on
This
time.
was 1,000% somebody being like, dude, New Orleans is right there. It's an hour away. Why don't you go get? You've never been to
without a
Louisiana.
doubt.
Go see New Orleans, and then you can drive down in the morning. I mean,
you'll have plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Traffic is shit.
Here's the only thing that I think that may be his saving grace is
He's
that
working.
I don't know. It was just him. I don't know if he's by himself.
Oh, he's meeting somebody.
He's got to have somebody, right? If he is,
it takes one body, one warm body.
If he was just doing it, hey, I'm just going to explore Bourbon by myself during the day, I think he has a better shot of getting there because,
I would put a lot of money on it that he didn't say in his adult life. I'm going to make this trip to Louisiana for the first time, especially New Orleans for this LSU Auburn game, and I'm doing it by myself.
Yeah, you're right.
I find that hard to believe.
Very good point. Very good point.
And he didn't see he's not an old guy.
No, he's not.
That's the dangerous
he's ready.
part.
He's ready. He's a healthy guy. He had a whoop on.
I saw hand grenades in the background. What do you mean? Like that's not
He's
good.
ready. He's not.
That strain's gonna be hot, coach.
He's not very confident.
No, he's not.
With Auburn. And I don't know if I think that's a good thing for us. Listen,
it's been a tough five for him.
LSU top to bottom is way better. Like there's no way around it, right? Talent-wise,
Caesar's
they have
a
the
bunch
talent.
of cowards.
What?
I said Caesar's a bunch of cowards.
They won't let you tease it.
No. Mm-hmm. 53 and LSU at 4.
They know your game. They know your game.
They know what you're up to.
No, you can't be doing it. So
they've been following your account.
Uh-huh.
yeah, they know.
Who is this kid?
You're the tease king.
Tease king.
You're the tease king.
60 is a good
top
number.
to 60 is. I took the over, right? So top to bottom, I think LSU obviously is a better team. They have a better offense. I think their defense has been very bad, But I also think that their defense, for what Auburn does well offensively, I think LSU's defense, that's the one part of their defense that you feel like can get better, right? So, or that has gotten better, is continuing to get better with their defensive line. So if Auburn is not going to be able to show you the ability to throw the football, I have a lot of confidence in LSU really kind of separating themselves throughout the course of this game. Like, I can see this game not being close at all, which in turn would make the over not hit. But I don't see it being that close.
I would say stylistically, this is not a very good matchup for Auburn at all. The only thing that I can see, though, is, and somehow it not hitting the over, is if they are able to have some kind of success on the ground, and LSU does kind of duplicate what they did last week in the sense of trying to put the ball on the ground and take the air out of it a little bit to not put the defense on the field as much. In that case, I could see it possibly not hitting the over. But it's, to tell the truth of it, it's not a good matchup. It's not a good stylistic matchup for Auburn.
I'm going to have a few Heineken Silvers in my system tomorrow before I make my same game prop bet parlay.
Oh, I thought you were saying before you make your way on the campus. I said,
No,
come on,
that
cuz.
too.
Oh,
Probably.
hey, yo.
On to campus?
So, yeah, before you get to campus?
Yeah, I want a little, before I get on. No, I'm not driving.
I said, hey, yo.
I'm not driving. Get a ride.
What's wrong with that?
Get a ride.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
But
Oh, sweet.
I need to
Sweet
have,
Mary and Joseph.
I need
see
to
my
have
car?
I need to have some nice
Silvers?
thought supplements, right, to make these bets. The prop bet. I took
Nootropics.
I took LSU 11.
So donuts, okay. Got it.
Yeah. I took LSU 11.5 and I took the over 60, right? For shits and gigs, I like to put together a prop, like individual bets on players, on what they're going to do, over, under yards, whatever, of the game, and not bet a ton of money. Just it's for
How many
fun.
legs?
It depends on the odds. I like to get the odds as high
So
as I
there's no max, there's no minimum.
No.
It just depends on what you like.
Yeah, it depends on what I like, right? And so
Could be
but
two,
I
could
like
be
to do
20.
it- I like to do it the day of, so like I feel like I'm in it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna wait to do that and talk about that. But me and Lloyd, we're talking before the show. Lloyd, you think the under is gonna hit?
Well, I think the under is going to hit when I had it at 63.
Right.
Yes. But
So you think the score's
for
gonna
this
be
ex-
between
for this
60 and
yeah,
63? You think
for
it'll be
the-
62, 61?
A lot of points for it's a whole possession. For this exercise, I was thinking, and I bet it early in the week whenever we didn't get the full report that Jason Daniels feels like, I don't know if he's 100. Who? Oh, Jaden. Jason
I
Williams.
said Jason Campbell. That's a long time before.
That was Auburn.
He used to play a long time
You just
ago.
said a bunch of names.
Jason
like
Williams?
5 different quarterbacks you just called right there. Anyway,
He
go
did
ahead.
play quarterback in high school. Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
Your quarterback for the LSU Fighting Tigers. Before, it seemed like that he was 100%. I thought that LSU would maybe go with a more simplistic game plan in which it would feature a lot of Logan Diggs, maybe some easy throws, not take this approach on offense where it's as soon as you touch the ball, you're trying to score with almost every play. They were setting up plays against Missouri where it was using the run game to set up the pass. You saw that deep ball to Brian Thomas Jr., which was just all scheme. He rolls out left, turns back right, throws a post over the middle. That it's glorious. It's picture perfect. You see all those things. I thought that with the rib injury, he probably wouldn't throw it as much or throw it downfield as much. So I thought you might see some rushing yards from Jade Daniels, where I felt like he was more comfortable doing that at the end of the Missouri game. Logan Diggs gets involved. You take some pressure off the defense.
Well, I guess my question to that, I understand that. You think that they're both going to be doing a lot more running and slowing, so not going to be as many possessions.
Auburn can't
I
throw the
like
football.
the under in this one, right? If you think about it, bro. Jaden is a little banged up from last week.
But that was my question. Do we know how banged up?
We don't, but we do know the rest of the schedule moving forward, right? And you kind of need him to at least try to get him to that bye week to get all the way healthy. So my thoughts
You got to get him through this game.
My thoughts is like, hey, if you know he's a little banged up right now, you know you need every single win that's on the rest of the schedule if you can get it, right? Is if they can have some success early on the ground,
Why get away from it?
what's the need one to risk him getting hurt? What's the need two to put the defense back on the field more in the sense of like, hey, we know this isn't exactly where we need to be right now. If stubbornly, like I know the history of this game too. It's hard for me to sit here and say like, oh yeah, 63, take the over. It fucking never happens in this game, right?
It's
so
7-3 and 9-6 are on the board.
right. So I'm like,
10-7.
so for me, I get it how it's been.
Me not like my over pick, okay?
I get it how it's been. I'm just like, man, I don't know about that one, man.
When I was making the bet, we should have had this conversation when I was making my bet.
Well,
I still think we're going to hit the over.
Of course. If
still
Mike,
do it.
that's what would have happened. We'd have told all of this. He'd be like, I'm taking the over. This is how it goes.
I'm not a good bettor.
You're fun better.
I've come, huh?
You're fun.
He's an optimistic bettor.
He is.
I bet with my
If
heart.
I enjoyed this game the most I can. And
I bet with my heart. I bet with my heart. That's exactly what I do.
How could I go
what
to?
do I want to see?
How could I go
that.
home with anything going wrong today?
And I won money.
What do I
It's
want
like
to see?
Golden
I'm going to make
Retriever
that
had
happen.
a betting account.
Yeah, that's me.
LSU covers the 11. They score 60 plus. They
You gotta
cover
imagine
themselves.
if the sports books were legal in 19, you gotta imagine it would have been very good for me. Because I was about as optimistic. I would have hit
everything that you could have possibly wanted to happen. Which
only
also would have been bad for you the next couple of years because you really would have never got off the optimism train.
No doubt. The only game I would have lost that year is Auburn.
The offshore paid for my national championship ticket.
Listen,
That's nice.
outside of me being optimistic, and outside of me betting things that I want to see, if the rib injury is the issue, right? And I know you said, oh, it hurts when he throws. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. I also understand that if he's going to be running and Jaden being the runner that he is, a very upright runner who seems to not like to get out of bounds often or get down often.
His head's so high,
He's
can't
exposing
see.
those ribs to contact and to being tackled. And obviously, no matter how much it hurts to throw, anytime you're going to get hit in those sore ribs, if they are still bothering him, which we don't know, which they're obviously going to keep that close, which I imagine they're probably still a little sore. Yeah. Any type of contact's obviously going to hurt that too, right? And so I'm not saying he's not going to run, but I also am not going to say, oh, they're just going to run it because it feels better on the ribs. I think that, yeah, it may feel better initially, but if you keep getting hit, it's not going to feel better for much.
Listen, I'm with you on this thing. I think if they do decide to run the ball more, and that is prevalent of the game plan, it's not because it hurts to throw. Because truth is if he ever has to pull it out and he's getting hit, you're getting exposed to more. Like, I would rather you not be getting hit and give you a chance to, hey, get the ball out of your hands when it comes to throwing. So I do think if the running game's a thing, it's going to be 20, 25 carries by Logan Diggs, some of that jet sweep stuff, kind of moving you side to side.
And look, Aaron
kind of find
Anderson's
ways
back.
to do it that way.
That's
Exactly.
what I was going to say.
Kind of find ways to do it that way as opposed to, hey, Jaden, put us on your back one more time and let's go do this.
Superman.
Logan Diggs' over-under for yards is 94.5.
Took it.
You took the over.
I take the over.
I like the over.
I take
too.
the over.
And here's the flip side, right? Defense has been the big cause of concern for LSU. Secondary specifically, I think the secondary, obviously this game is over the last 2 games, the secondary has been getting cooked, right? Now, 2 games ago, our whole defense got cooked. Last week, our secondary was the majority of the cookedness, right? This week,
Majority in the pot.
yeah, majority of the pot. It was overflowing with the secondary last week. This week,
Throw it out.
the secondary is not, you'd imagine, they may try to challenge the secondary, but that's not the strong suit of Auburn's offense. It's running the football, which, to my point, is I think is going to be good for our defensive line. You've seen the defensive line start to make maybe a stride, like a positive stride forward, right? They played better last week. They had a couple sacks. They had a couple tackles for loss. You felt like they were in the backfield a lot more on like getting to the passer. Now, this week, you're going to have a different challenge of a team that is the leading rushing team in the SEC. They try to be physical. They try to ram it down your throat. And I think that this is a good game for our defensive line to continue to show the progress that they're making with Pete Jenkins at the helm.
You saw what Pete Jenkins said.
Pete Jenkins said, listen, that sounds like a lot of coach speak.
Why
But
would he
maybe
say
not.
it?
Why would he say it
Pete's
then?
too old to be
He's
doing
not coming out of his way to say something.
Say-
You're right.
Did y'all see what that man had on the sideline last week?
Did y'all
Coach
see
speak
that
no
man
more,
barking
coach.
at the referees over
Brian Kelly's
BK's
That
shoulder?
man don't even know
Like,
what coach speak is. What does this mean?
Once you pass 75, whatever comes to your brain, you say.
And he's reached the coach speak. What is that? This is what I really think.
You get nothing but truth from him.
You
But
don't.
He did
Right.
say this defensive line is the most committed to getting better that I've ever coached.
And I think, like, knowing the guys, I don't know them that well, but, like, hearing them talk in interviews and being able to talk to a few of these guys and understanding kind of who they are as athletes, I would agree with him. Like, these guys, it's not because they weren't getting dominated because they didn't want to work hard or they weren't talented or they didn't want to do the right things. I thought they were getting dominated because they did not have the right guidance and the right teacher to show them, hey, you're messing up. This is why you're messing up. This is what you need to do to fix it. And I feel like now they trust the guy they have doing that. They're working their ass off to be able to. And I think that once they do that and once it starts to really start to click, you're going to see a whole different defensive line, which is going to make you see a whole different defense.
The truth of the matter is that you will never win without the Jimmies and the Joes, but coaching matters.
Yes, no doubt.
It does. There has to be a happy marriage of both of them together. Can't just do one without the other. It just doesn't work that way.
100%. And so I think that with the game plan that Auburn is probably going to come into this game with, I think it's a good test for the defensive line to show you, hey, listen, yeah, we're back. You know, we've made some strides, and like we're the group on this defense that you can hang your hat on to know, say, not the whole defense is Swiss cheese. Just, you know, we're gonna solidify up front, and we're gonna get in the backfield, and we're gonna stop this run. And if you do that, and you force them to throw the football, which they're not good at, obviously LSU's not good at defending, but maybe this allows them to throw a team that's doesn't want to throw the football, throw it more than they want to, and allows our secondary to make some plays and kind of feel like experience what it feels like to, we're kind of dominating these receivers, or like we're making plays on balls. Like, just give them a little confidence moving forward. I mean, I think you can also see that, which would be nice to see. It would be nice to see our cornerbacks go out there and turn their head and make a play on a ball.
This is the chance to do so.
It'd be nice for a ball to go
there's
up
gonna
to a
be
receiver, and their hands are there, and somehow the cornerback swipes through the hands, and the ball ends up on the ground.
I don't want to see that.
Hands. I mean, that's just, you know.
I just want to see a face.
What?
What'd that mean?
Like, turn your head around. All I'm seeing is the back of numbers and the back of helmets.
I think we're still another game or so off from that. But
no, I'm saying this could be the game because of how poorly
if they can't run
Auburn
can't run the football and they're forced to throw it, I think that you could see some sort of pause. Now,
they are committed to the run.
If it goes the other way and we stop the run, they're not getting any run. It's a lot of 3rd and 10s and a lot of 3rd and 11s and a lot of 3rd and 8s. And Auburn then starts trying to throw the football, and we are not stopping that. Boy, we have a nice little sit down on Monday with the team and say, hey, listen, boys, this is the worst passing offense in the country. They are not competent throwing the football, and you just let them throw it around it. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, that's not good.
Auburn's coming out here, and they pulling out all the stops. There will be some trick plays early. I won't be surprised if they hit with them. I don't know if they'll hit big with them.
Double reverse.
I won't be surprised if they hit with them.
Seen
But
that
what I do think is that you see another level up from the front seven. I think that also plays into a better secondary play. I'm not sure it plays into that truly full, confident, balls up, head turn, all of that.
No.
We're not there yet. It's just like saying, like, hey, I expect that. To me, that's like saying if you would have saw the defensive line come out last week with 5 sacks, 3 more pressures, and it's just like, hey, you weren't gonna go from giving up 700 to that the next game, right? Like that's what we're asking or what we're like hoping for. I think is when you see guys playing close to the top of their game. It doesn't happen that quick.
One strip sack.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that quick. So I think it needs to be like what you said: play through some hands, break up some passes coming through, and then you're like, okay,
just a couple
guys start playing with a little more confidence because that's all it is, man. When you're in that trail position as a DB and ball goes up, if you're so used to that play being made, you don't want to look back.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want to look back.
No
You
doubt.
feel like the only chance you got is like, let me get close enough to do this. Once these start happening, that's when dudes stuff. I'm in a good spot. That's when they start looking back. I'm not sure we're quite there yet.
Absolutely. Start playing the wide receivers. Start playing the eyes, making sure that they don't make these plays, right? They're not going to make every play defensively, but make sure that, hey, these receivers aren't going to catch these 50-50 balls that they've been catching. You can see that. And I think it's like a basketball shooter, a three-point shooter in basketball, right? Hey, your job is to make threes. Well, even J.J. Redick went through cold streaks, right, where he couldn't make anything. But he kept shooting. And the minute he sees a couple go in, he's like, oh, there it is. And then all of a sudden, now he doesn't miss, right? It's just you
It's
got to
like,
see.
but it's like shooters too. Like so, when
happen.
shooters go cold, what's the first thing they start doing? When it's cold, and they can't hit until they start hitting. When they start holding the finish, they start staring and not moving.
Yeah.
They don't want to go get rebounds. They're not running back on defense. It's just watching it go through. But as soon as they start falling, they get comfortable again. They get comfortable again.
No doubt. So
Get me to the free throw line.
There you go.
And I think the defense has an opportunity to do that. I think you're going to see, another opportunity. Like Whit Weeks is going to take that next step forward as a linebacker, I'd imagine. Spates is back healthy. I think the biggest thing is Charles Turner's back.
Yeah, it's massive.
There was a few that were didn't play last week or that were kind of on the injury report. There's only one not playing this week, and that is who's the one not playing? Who's still out? Chris Hilton. Chris Hilton's still out. Omar Spates is active. Aaron Anderson is active. And Charles Turner is active. And I think Charles Turner, out of all four of those, is the most important one. Obviously, he's the quarterback on the offensive line. He's the veteran.
Look for it. I'm just telling you, we mentioned it already, but look for it. If Jaden is still as quote-unquote compromised, if you will, I think you may see Aaron get 5+ touches in this game. I think it's possible. Screen game, jet sweep game, pop pass game.
I would like for him to get in the offense a little bit more. Maybe have a game where he's starting to make guys miss, get in space, give him some more confidence, and maybe give the coaches more confidence in him. Yep, that'd be nice to see because he's got elite speed and elite.
And I'm wondering if they work in anybody else in the running back rotation. Obviously, he was asked. Brian Kelly was asked about that a little bit. He's like, "Look, we got a full stable of guys that I feel confident in all of them." But Logan did just kind of wrestle this away. But if in a game like this, where if your quarterback is compromised, you might see a little bit more of a rotation and emphasis on the run game.
Well, and that's the thing. Is and that Brian Kelly said early in the year. He said, "I'm not going to name." "Quote unquote" a starter right now, early in the season. He's like, we have a bunch of guys that I feel confident going in there and being able to run the rock and get yards. I'm going to play the hot hand. I'm going to play the guy who I feel like is playing the best. And he's done that. Every game, he's allowed these guys to kind of get going. And every game, it seems like Logan Diggs is the guy who takes the ball and he's the hot guy. So, I don't think
to what you're saying, I personally don't think I think Logan has grabbed this thing by the bull by the horns, and it's Logan comes out when he taps his helmet at this point.
What are y'all doing tomorrow for the game? Are y'all going out? I know y'all are. I know everybody should be going out to tailgate. It's the best weather game day of the year so far.
I don't know if I'm going. I think I'm going to take this one
You're
easy.
fucking lying.
Me and Stewie are taking it in. He's coming with me.
Got an extra
Really? Ticket.
Y'all going to the game?
Yeah.
Both of y'all together?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Stew dog.
You got the contraptions you need for the, to walk in the game? Like
Special apparatus.
A special apparatus.
Apparatus would be plural. I only need the one.
Well, you need a couple.
Maybe we need two.
You got me.
I'm going to show Stewie the way of the section.
Well, Lloyd, you're a I don't get drunk for the game guy. You
Right.
get drunk after the game.
I get drunk probably in the middle of the game. I
like
will
to
drink
watch the
before.
game.
I take it in, but I have my. I got.
That's the most responsible
I've
think
ever-
Lloyd
I-
ever is.
The only day of his life where he runs on a schedule and a system. It's the only time.
No doubt.
So it's only really for 5 months of the year.
Yeah, really one day.
One day out of 5 months of the year.
One day out of the week for 7 weeks.
For
So 7 days. 7 days is what he does.
8. Well, 7 now because of the one neutral site game.
Yep, 7 days. Lloyd gets the opportunity to be responsible.
And it's really only home games.
That's only 7 days.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
7.
Yeah.
He
7
still
days.
didn't even know that. He was
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
How
away
many games?
games,
Okay.
and all bets are off
Yeah.
unless I'm going. But yeah, I like to be present. I was getting roasted at the tailgate the last home game because I had a little, always crack a little water every now and again.
You gotta hydrate.
Yeah,
It's a long day.
a little clarity water
Especially
just
the
to
last
make sure we're all here.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What do you do drinking water?" He's like, "No, I want to black out right before the game." Like,
Well-
you got to go in there with a little. I've been there.
You have to have
I've
a
done
game
both.
plan. You have to have a game plan.
I've done both.
You have to have a game
It's much
plan.
more enjoyable when you're not getting picked up outside of Shady's at 2:45. Like, where am I?
Oof, Shadies.
Aftermath.
That's happened before?
Nah, that's what I was told.
Yeah, well,
Look
you don't
up-
remember.
He said that's what I was told.
You don't remember.
I had somebody else's Walton phone, and they had my Walton phone. I don't know what our plan was.
Boys, I'll be out there early.
Oh, yes?
Early.
What's early for you?
No, this could be potentially early because my
God, I'm
beautiful-
so excited.
My beautiful wife is attending an event with my sister at an event. It's like it's like 2 o'clock, but
all
No,
day
they're not
to
going
get
to go
ready.
out
Yeah.
Selfish.
and then go
Yeah.
out. So they're going to ride
Do
together.
you not know it's the Auburn game?
They're going to ride together. And
You're
then
not
I'm gonna
going
go
with
out
them?
there. You know, I'm gonna go out there and make sure everything's set up at the tailgates and make sure everybody gets where they need to be. Yeah. And make sure things
Community man.
things are done.
Supervise.
Yeah, so I may be out there a little early.
This is dangerous because I am also unencumbered this weekend.
You have Stewie.
He's a grown man.
Well, he's coming. Are you driving? Is he riding out there with you?
I don't drive.
Is he going out there with you?
I don't think so. We'll meet up at some
Okay,
point.
I was about to say because you and Stewie aren't the most prompt people in the world.
I'm prompt for this.
But is he?
I don't
That's
know.
the question.
Hey, I don't take anybody else's responsibilities on a game day. If you're with me or not, we're going. I have my set times. If you're with
I'm
it,
looking forward to it. The weather's going to be amazing.
10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m.
Oh, when am I going to get out there? I'll let you know that. I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be.
That's probably when I'll wake up.
It's going to be before 10. You're going to wake up at 10 o'clock.
10, shower, go.
Because if I slept till 10 o'clock, I don't know. I can't tell you the last time I've slept till 10 o'clock.
I got to get up, eat breakfast, and go back to bed to sleep till 10. Like
No
that's
doubt.
not,
That's a high possibility too.
Now, if we had like a banger and you're out till like 5, 6, that
that
doesn't
just
happen
happened.
very often anymore. I don't think
we just got as close to that as we could, and I still didn't sleep till 10.
Well, yeah, I was 3 a.m. for me.
We just got as
Yeah,
close to that. I still didn't sleep till
I
10.
slept till 7:30.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you were
It
very
didn't help that I
comfortable.
was laying on the living room floor with the sun coming in my eyes, though. That did not help me.
It's a bad spot to be in.
That was not good.
You're not
fully
18.
clothed.
Yeah,
full
well,
from
yeah.
the night out.
Shirt still tucked in.
Belt on. Had to take the belt off when I
Shoes
woke
on?
up. I'm like,
Took
no,
my
shoes are off.
contacts off though. Those cut off.
I did not. Had my contacts in all night. It was great. It was a
You
great
literally
day.
took 2 steps and hit the floor.
It was a great day.
You sat down, shoes off.
It was actually. It felt real nice because there was 2 big couches.
Stiff wind came through.
Yeah, got on the couch, me on the
Back on the
ground. I was
floor.
like, this is great. This feels like I'm back in like high school, like a party at someone's house. Like, hey, let's just all hang out, whatever. And then sun came up. There's no drapes. It was great. But
feels weird.
Woke up and turned the London game on. It felt good to me.
I did not do that. I was driving back. I did the whole wake up.
I turned
early
it on and I
wanted to
saw
go
like
home.
6 plays, and that's about it. But I turned it on though.
Responsible viewing.
I turned it on.
All right, let's get some other conversation about some college football. Right, not just. Oh, actually, unless we have anything else we want to talk about for LSU.
I do have one more nugget for
Yes,
LSU.
I like
Auburn.
nuggets.
Light nugget. Last time that this will be 32 consecutive years LSU and Auburn have tipped it off. This is the last time
Kicked
that
it
we'll
off.
tipped it off. There's been some tips in this game.
Well, it has been.
Ask was it Devery Henderson or early Doucette? Or Ronnie Prude got a tip that got called back.
That's right.
But
Look at you, LSU historian.
oh yeah, big fan.
Big fan.
Number 1 fan and manager.
Big helmet fan.
Sober.
Big
So
helmet fan.
last year that they will play, it ends the streak of 32 consecutive years. LSU
They're not playing
Auburn.
next year.
No, because of
I forgot about that.
I know.
Is that a definite? Oh, they did. The schedule's
There's
already
no
out,
more
yeah.
conferences or divisions.
The schedule's out.
Just want to get your thoughts on that.
I don't love that.
No, me either, because I felt like Auburn should have been I would have gotten rid of. Would you trade the battle of the Golden Boot for Arkansas?
Yes.
Did you trade Ole Miss?
I like the LSU Auburn game over the LSU Arkansas game. I like the LSU Ole Miss game over the LSU Arkansas game. I'd like to have both Ole Miss and Auburn and Alabama. I like to have those 3 on the schedule.
I agree with that. I like those 2.
Because Auburn, especially for you, as somebody who's been in it, it always seemed like it was wonky. Like no matter if your team was.
But look, to that same point, Arkansas is always wonky too.
Well,
You know
that's
what I mean?
because you were catching Arkansas after the Alabama game, and it felt like Les built that up so much that it was like, oh, season's over.
Right.
And you just go, like, basically jog into
Yeah,
Arkansas
look,
and get your teeth kicked in.
So what is it? So how are they going to do this? They have 3 constant
it is
opponents
A&M, Alabama, and one more. I'm not sure who it
and
is.
every year. But that's not from the West. That's just like both
No, for the
East
West.
and West.
Yeah,
or
but
it's
I
just
think
from the West.
there's going to be 3 permanent West
Or
teams that
former
you play.
West.
Yes. Former
And it's
West.
going to be Alabama, A&M, and you don't know the third one? Ole Miss, maybe? No?
Ole Miss or Arkansas. It's one of the 2. It's not Auburn.
I'd rather Ole Miss than Arkansas. And I don't want Arkansas. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just
I want Arkansas.
Yeah, 'cause it's not great.
Right. That's
But,
why,
like-
if you really look at it through the the lens of LSU.
It's a good situation.
Yeah, because Auburn,
you don't have to deal with Hugh Freeze all that time.
They're about to get good.
Yeah, you don't.
I want it. I want him, and the reason why I want him,
I do too.
No, I want him. No, for real, because that's
I want it.
that is, but that's what the SEC's always
you
been
know
in the sense
what,
of
Jared? I want it.
early on, really, right? Like I like the thought of it because you don't have to go out and play said who's top 5, top 10 team on the road somewhere else to start the year, second week of the year, to be in it at the end of the year with these teams on the schedule, and you always playing them, right? If these teams are on the schedule and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and you play them in the middle of the year and you beat them, you're in the conversation at the end.
Right.
Instead of having to be like, oh, man, Auburn, or Arkansas, whoever it is, like, they ain't been nothing there in forever and nobody's expecting them to do anything, and that's who we got. Now that just becomes into the SEC turning into what's been out west and or what's been on the ACC for a while. I want the schedule in conference to be as strong as possible. That way when you take care of what's in the schedule, at the end of the year, there ain't much debate about if you belong there or
look,
you
I
don't.
agree with you. I like the fact that you have to play these teams that are perennially good or going to give you a good game. Like I like that. Like for those exact reasons that you mentioned. So it's gonna be weird. Do they have an East opponent? That's a permanent East opponent like we have right now in Florida. We're not gonna have them now, but is it just the West, or do they have a permanent East too?
That I don't know.
Former East.
I think it would be, if I had to guess, I would imagine it would be Florida.
No, I don't think I heard it wasn't Florida anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I'd like for it to be Vandy. It'd be nice.
I think
I'd
Bama.
go against everything I just said.
Didn't you just say that?
I mean, look, Florida.
It's just.
I don't see how you could not have it be Florida.
If there's gonna be one,
if there's gonna be one, like I don't see how you can go anywhere. You can go away from
be
that.
Alabama. They're gonna keep that rivalry intact.
Well, that's I'm talking about that's the West. I'm talking about from the East side.
Somewhere from the East.
Tennessee.
Is that the permanent?
No, they're saying that Alabama, Tennessee is going to be permanent.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know what LSU is going to get on the East side, but
I don't know.
Rip to a great rivalry. He had the barn burning earthquake game, the Ronnie Prude game. Were you
Demetrius Byrd game?
Demetrius Byrd, you can't see me game.
Yes.
The missed field goals games for there was 3 straight years that they missed field goals.
That was he missed. It was John Vaughn missed 3 in Tiger Stadium. I saw his mom after the game, and she was in shambles. She had the pin, like 99 Vaughn, my son, and it was like you should probably take that off. Maybe. Yeah, because people knew after they saw her, like, son's the best player on the team. And I was like, that lady's about to kill herself. Leave her be.
That's
a tough spot to be in.
Tough situation.
I think he hit the upright twice. Whoa.
But I mean, it's not that they're not going to play them ever, right? Like it's just not going to be every year. Yeah, so it's not going to be every year. So you still have some of the games. That'll be fine. Before we move on from LSU, we're going to do our bets at the end of the game. I mean, at the end of the show. But I want to do our bets for college football at the end of the show. I want you to tell me right now. What are your LSU bets? What are your bets from the LSU Auburn game this weekend? What are you taking?
I have the under. I took that early.
Under 63 though.
Under 63. I have over Jaden rushing yards, which I'm now a little wavery on, and over.
Did I convince you to go to the passing?
What did you get it at? What did you get it at?
I don't have to check. And I have the Diggs over.
My phone's rang 17 times.
Well, maybe you should answer it.
I can't.
And I have the Diggs over rushing.
So you have Diggs over 94.5 yards rushing. You had Jaden over rushing yards, which now you're thinking that the passing yards may be the thing, or maybe no.
Maybe just
nothing.
no.
And you have the under.
And I have the under.
The under of 63 though. What do you like? What do you like as far as the spread goes?
Oh, and I have Brian Thomas to score a touchdown and Mason Taylor to score a touchdown.
Just those prop bets I'm doing tomorrow. I already told you. I explained that.
And I have. I think somebody should hop on this too. I mean, obviously Auburn's playing as well. Jarquez Hunter over 67.5. I feel like it's a good bet. That's their running back.
I mean,
he's good.
Matt came on and said he hadn't been great.
He's good though. And LSU can't tackle in the secondary.
I think that you're going to see LSU shut down their running game.
Well, then it'll be a rout.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm starting to think that I might take LSU minus the points.
I do like the points a lot. I like the 11.5. I think it's going to be a rout, but I also think that you're going to see Auburn maybe score 2 touchdowns on like some crazy double reverse plays. Like they're going to have like maybe Robbie Ashford gets loose for a 70-yard touchdown run. But it's not going to be sustained drives where they just go up and down the field. You may see a couple like like Florida did to us last year, right? Like where Anthony Richardson had those 3 big plays. Now I don't think that you're going to get those in the passing game really. Look, Robbie Ashford did it. He had the big runs, and then he had a couple big throws down the sidelines that guys just got lost. They're trying to stop the run, and so I think you may see that. I like LSU in a route, and it's hard for me to say that's not a homer bias pick, but I just think that our defense is going to shut down the run, and they're going to be in a predicament offensively.
So if our defense shuts down the run, they can't pass, supposedly.
That's what they say.
Supposedly, right? Then what's a route then? What's the score? Because you took the over.
I know.
So what's the score then?
You're asking LSU to put up. But you're
LSU's
saying
going to have to score 40.
I mean, 40-20 still the under. 41-21 still the under.
45-20.
45-20. Book it.
45-20.
If LSU gets up that much, guess who's coming out the game?
I'm taking the under, bro. I'm just being honest. I'd take the under in this one. All day.
41-20 counts is the over for me.
I thought you got it at 62.
I got it at 60.
Got it at
60. I got it at 63.5, and I have the under. Which I feel.
I like 41-20. I'm gonna go that 41-20. They're gonna win by 3 touchdowns.
No sweat.
Yeah, 1 point cover. But the cover is gonna be. They're gonna have it, in hand early 4th quarter and then shut it down.
Jaden Daniels will come out.
Yeah.
Start running the ball.
41-20. That's my score prediction.
35.
I mean, purely as a bettor, like not as as a fan, as a bettor. You got LSU's last 4 games. They've scored 41, 34, 55, 49. So we're saying they're going 40 again? Basically 4 out of 5 last 5 games?
I think they're going to go 41 points today, this weekend. And they're going to give up 20.
I don't see it. I'm going to be honest with you.
They're going to give up 20, and it's going to be because they give up a touchdown, like a fluky
I can
long
see
touchdown.
35-21. That still gets you the over.
No, it doesn't.
It's 56 points.
56 gets you the under.
That's not even close.
Not even close.
All right. I already made the bet, so I have to try to justify.
He's just trying to make it happen.
I've already made the bet. I can hedge it, but if I'm gonna keep the over, it's
his hedging's gonna happen tomorrow when he makes his prop bets and stuff. He's gonna be like,
you know what? I'm gonna hit those. And
you know what?
Well, because the thing is, if you take LSU at minus 11, you're thinking
11.5.
11.5. Oh, they got to score. So the under doesn't really match up to what I'm thinking.
No, that's not true. Because I don't.
You don't
think,
have to take both.
I don't think Auburn. That's not why I took the over. I don't think Auburn needs a score for LSU to get to 11.5.
LSU has hit the over in every game this year.
Right.
But this is suspiciously low.
So what are you saying? Just make it 7 in a row?
No, I'm saying the opposite.
I think it's low.
That was what I'm saying.
I think it's low based off everything we talked about. Like Auburn runs the football, and they're going to try to shorten it. They're going to shorten the game. It's not going to be a lot of possessions.
People are going to.
Or they don't short. They try to shorten the game. They don't shorten the game, and LSU just runs it up. Maybe they score 60 points on their own.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze is like, who we want to get a track meet with? The team that scored 50.
Well,
5 out of the last 6
it's
games.
hard. It's hard to get a track. It's hard not to get if you're not gaining yards on the ground and you're not getting first downs, then you're going to get on a track meet whether you want to or not. So what are you doing?
About to plug this in.
Huh?
Just holding it up.
I was confused what you were doing there. Okay, that's what I got. So what do you think it's going to be?
I'm out of medicine.
I already said it. I think it hits the under.
No, what's the score, though? You doing me? Come up with a score prediction? I'll say 41-20. What do you say?
If they put up 35 in this game, I'll be surprised.
LSU?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the score?
I will be. I'll say 31-17.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I mean, that's definitely the under. But I like that. And
31-17.
that's a route. I mean, that's
it is.
that's a 2-touchdown win.
It is. I think that. I personally think that's a route. I don't know how many other people do, but I personally think if you lose 31-17, outside of it being
and it may not be
7-point
that close of 31-17.
I say outside of it being a 7-point
and
game to like a last-minute touchdown that pushes it to that, you got your ass beat in my mind. So,
all right, 31-17, 41-20. What do you got?
35-17.
35-17. Okay, I like that too.
35.
I like all the scores. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Game will be fun regardless.
No doubt.
Unless, Jaden could lose the Heisman.
No.
Get him out that conversation.
No.
Well, what?
Nope.
Somebody's gonna fall out because.
Let's not being negative over here.
I'm not about to be negative about somebody else. Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. is going to fall out the Heisman race.
Not true.
This weekend.
Not true.
Have to.
What if they play a classic and they both throw for 404 touchdowns and someone loses on a last field goal?
Has to have a winner.
Not gonna.
You have to have a winner.
I'm not going to lose it on that. Now, if Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. throws 3 interceptions in a big game, prime time, and they lose to the other guy, now they're probably out. But if they both put up big numbers,
Do you know that Bo Nix played against both Joe Burrow and who's the quarterback for the Chargers?
I already said
Yeah,
that.
he
It
said
was
that.
actually one of my
When did you say that?
curtain calls.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that incredible?
Glad our producer's just been locked into the show.
You know what's also incredible? 2017, they showed the highlight of the punt return of DJ Chark. And you know who was in the end zone? I saw in the end zone? John Shea Kirkland. That, to me, was kind of nuts because, 2017, DJ Chark, you feel like he's been in the NFL for a while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
He sees this punt return, biggest comeback in LSU football history. You go there, you see Kirkland in there. That's 17, so Kirkland had to have been a freshman probably. And he graduated. He left last year, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Played quarterback.
To double back to what you just said, though, think about it. Bo Nix played against Justin Herbert in college.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert is on contract number 2 in the league right now.
Crazy.
He's off the rookie contract and he's on contract number 2 already.
So is Joe.
Well, here's it. Michael Penix, too. Michael Penix been in the league, in college, just as long as Bo Nix.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's gonna be a good game. I took Washington minus 2.5. I bought it down a half. No, it actually was 2.5, huh?
I didn't touch that one.
I took it 2.5. I touched it.
Tickled it.
I touched it. No, I grabbed it. I wanted it. I wanted all of it.
I did grab Notre Dame USC, though.
I did too. I took Notre Dame.
Me too.
I don't know if I like that. As I'm taking it, I didn't know if I like
No,
that.
I feel like we're very much on the public side.
No, I shouldn't have listened to you, I don't think.
That's okay. We'll see who's there.
But you're so bought into Sam Hartman.
I am.
And I think he's great. But sometimes it's not Sam Hartman's fault. I think it's the offensive coordinator's fault.
Offensive coordinator stinks. It's hard to neuter somebody as good as Sam Hartman.
I'm interested to see what happens if Notre Dame can slow down USC at all. Because they're supposed to be,
they're better.
Marcus Freeman's a defensive
They may not
guy.
have to because apparently USC's defense is Swiss cheese too, so.
Over?
USC is terrible. Defense.
Not very good defensively.
No.
Over?
That's a
What
Lincoln
is that
Riley.
over
That's a
under?
Lincoln Riley staple, though. It's a staple.
Oh, my God. That's the mistake of the day. If we want to just go ahead and get that now that we're talking about it. Alex Grinch.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
We're
I'll
not
keep
there
it.
yet.
I'll put it in the back. There's
We're
a
not
bunch
there
of
yet.
them. I had a bunch of them.
A
A lot of mistakes going on.
what
in the
is
world.
the over under?
Over under for USC
I don't like the over for that.
and Notre
I
Dame.
do not like the over for that.
What time do they play? 6 p.m. 6:30. Lou Holtz will be in bed. You think he goes on game day again?
Lou?
Uh-huh.
No.
60 and a half.
16. It's under. I think it's going to go under. I don't know if it does go over, Notre Dame loses.
Yeah, you don't want to get in a track
No.
meet with Caleb.
No. So
His mom does his nails.
Notre Dame's got to, in my mind, Notre Dame's got to keep USC under 30 points to win the
Choke
game.
him out.
To win the game. I believe that. I like the Oregon-Washington over, though. Even if that over could be 75 points, and I think I would still take it. I think it's 67.5.
Dan Lanning's a defensive guy. Have you seen his tattoo?
No.
Buddy.
Is that a mistake of the day, too? Or is it a good one?
No, it's terrible.
Oh.
He said, buddy.
A lot of good football games, but football season is not the only thing going on right now.
Talk to him.
People, actually, before I really get into the baseball conversation, did you see Dan Orlovsky? First of all, whoa, what the fuck is that?
That's the tattoo.
What?
That's the tattoo of
No
his,
way.
Yeah.
That's not his tattoo.
It is.
Where's that at on his body?
And his ribs.
I need to see a full picture of him with it on his ribs for me to believe that's an actual on his ribs.
Okay. How bad is that?
Wow, that's kind of. Wow.
A whole lot of
I
symbolism.
don't look. There may be a lot of meaning to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge?
Only
but
God.
I've grown to like. Some people don't like him. I've grown to like. I like Dan Orlovsky on TV. I think he does a really good job, especially breaking down games. I think he's kind of a smart ass. I kind of like that, and like he like kind of makes fun of. Well, he's also a baseball fan, right? and he lives in Connecticut, and he really wanted to go to the Phillies game last night. I don't know if he did, but he was talking about on First Take, and the First Take started. He tried so hard
to get it in there
to talk baseball, and bro, nobody wants to talk baseball.
That's why.
He was like, "Hey, is Bryce Harper your favorite athlete going to Molly?" And she's like, "No, why not? He's my favorite. He's my favorite baseball player right now, especially after everything that happened." I'm like, I respect the fact that to me, that's the issue with baseball, is you don't have those types of personalities like Orlovsky, like Ryan Clark, like Pat McAfee, like these guys.
Well, you do.
But they don't publicize them. They're not on ESPN. They're on MLB Network, or they're doing these smaller things. And I get it. There's so many games, and you don't see that same thing with hockey. But there's a lot in there. I mean, look, when you go to playoff baseball time, it is a whole different ball game, dude. Last night, watching that game, I mean, there were situations like we were flipping back and forth, and I was sitting there watching it on the TV, and it was like I was at Gosman's house, and we were watching the game, and there was a few guys there, and everybody's having this conversation.
Pick that name up.
And I'm like,
pick that name up for him.
And I'm like, hey, it's a 3-1 game. Bases are loaded, 2 outs, 2-2 count, and you have Acuna up his bat. And nobody's paying attention. It's like nobody. And they're like, oh, shit. And you watch it, and Acuna thinks he maybe got one, and he hits it right to the wall, and he gets caught. And it's just like those moments in the game. I think that was the 5th inning. And, like, that stuff, like, the little shit happens like that all the time in baseball games, especially in the postseason, and I love it. And it was awesome and to watch it. And then you see Castellanos. Nick is in fuego. 2 home runs, 2 straight games in the postseason. Basically,
first person
ever, and he knows that
in
now.
In the history of baseball ever.
He knows that now because the guy interviewing him told him that. I think he was trying to phrase it in a question. We'll get to that a little later in the show. But Nick, all-time interviewer. Nick is one of my buddies. Nick is about as funny of a person, unintentionally, I think, as you can be. Like, he's such a smart ass. And he is like, he'll answer you as like in an asshole way, but he'll stare at you right here and no facial expressions. Which, again, we'll get to later on in the show because I like that. I think it's great. He's a philosopher.
I do love how he has
sometimes doesn't really philosophize anything.
He's making sure his kids are living the dream.
Oh,
right
dude,
now.
Liam, his son. Liam was in school for the first part of the postseason.
Yeah.
The 2 games that he was able to go see were the last 2 games that Nick played. Nick hit 4 homers.
Oh, good luck, John. He's giving him signals.
Oh, dude,
Tell him he's not going back to
G,
school
until
this thing breaks off a little bit.
That's what happened to my buddy. His dad was in the big leagues, and whenever they went through a postseason run, he had to repeat the first grade because he missed so many days of school. And his dad was like, I don't care. Like, I want my son to be here to be able to experience all this stuff, which was awesome.
That's awesome. I mean, but the playoffs have been awesome. Aaron Nola had a really good performance. He came out, had this really good interview after the game, really thanking the Phillies fans. It feels to me that the Phillies are playing a brand of baseball that, they went to the World Series last year and they lost. I have them winning it. I know, Lloyd, you'd be very happy if they won it because you have a future on them.
Future's Lloyd.
Yeah, that'd be nice for you. But I think that they're going to go ahead and they're going to win it. They beat the Braves, right? Now you have the Diamondbacks are playing.
No, the Diamondbacks
are playing the Phillies, right? Which the Diamondbacks are hot. They've been swinging the shit out of it. Now you got to go, West Coast, East Coast. You got to go.
Think about those 2 places. Which one's harder to get a W at? And listen, playing in Arizona, playing in Phoenix it's a great atmosphere in the playoffs too. Mm-hmm. But Phillies 1-0, man.
No doubt.
Place is different.
No doubt. And the American League is awesome because you got the Astros playing the Rangers
in state. First time I think ever in the ALCS.
And so you have 2 teams like the Astros have been to the ALCS 7 straight times.
This is them without DeGrom too.
The Rangers.
They're there without DeGrom.
I know.
And they kind of made it there without Scherzer.
And Scherzer.
Pretty much made it
I
there
think people forget that the Rangers have Scherzer and DeGrom on the team, right? They've played really well. They've thrown it really well, and they've swung it, right? They've done what they needed to score the runs. The Astros are the Astros. Jordan Alvarez is as clutch as they come in the postseason.
7 straight, I think, ALCS?
7 straight ALCSs, right? So
it's impressive, bro.
They've been there. Listen, you can – when you get to 7 straight ALCSs, when the season starts and you're planning it before the season with your wife or your family or whoever, you plan to go into the last 2 weeks of the season. Like, when you make it 7 straight, like, that's part of the season. Hey, listen, it's not just 162. We're going to be in the ALCS or the World Series probably. So let's plan for this extra month of baseball.
So, and I want to just mention this because it's, it's a long ways away from it and it kind of gets lost in the fray. But I do think the majority of the baseball community that thought the Astros were cheating and that were pissed off because they thought the Astros were cheating is because they knew that core group of dudes and the team that they had was already this good.
Yeah.
It was never thought to be that, hey, they're cheating and they're winning way more games and nowhere. That wasn't the thought. It was like, bro, y'all were already this good. Like, why were y'all doing that too? And I think that's why it pissed so many people off as much as it did.
You know what's interesting is, like, listening to Kevin talk about some of these new rules in baseball. Because, like, we see them, and you see that, like, obviously stolen bases were way up, dude. It's unbelievable. My phone won't stop ringing. You see stolen bases.
It's probably Kevin Gossman.
No, it's not. You see stolen bases go way up today. This year, right? And, like, part of that is because you can't pick over more than 2 times. Once you pick over 2 times,
you can't balk move either.
You can't do it. You can't step off.
Behind the rubber.
You can't step off either.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying when you're actually picking, you have to step behind the rubber.
And so here's the deal. If the 3rd time they pick over, if you don't get him out, he gets the bag, right? He gets to take second. Now, here's the deal, though. If he steals or he's about to steal and you pick him off, he gets in a rundown, he ends up going back to first base.
He's out.
Going to second base. Like, if you don't get him out, you can get in a rundown. If you don't get him out, he gets the base.
No matter
the 3rd time, no matter what, right? And so Kevin is telling me these stories like, dude, I thought I would see it a lot more in the postseason because you're starting to see these base runners try to bait the pitcher into picking over because they know once they get to 2, they can't pick over again. He said, did y'all not see what happened earlier in the year with Minnesota? Forget who you said was on 3rd base, but he was trying, like, nobody was covering 3rd base, right, obviously, and pitcher's on the mound, and this guy is trying to go like he's going to steal home. And so he's like, well, you're taught if you steal home, the guy on the mound steps off, runs him back to 3rd base, right? So the guy takes off, pitcher can't not step off or he's going to try to steal home, steps off, runs him back to 3rd base, and gets him safe at 3rd.
Gets home.
He gets to score. Gets to go home because he stepped 3 times.
And it's just fundamental. Like, you're always taught from
crazy.
You're always taught from the youngest level of baseball. If you get in a rundown as the defense, you run them back to the base they came from. Mm-hmm. So that's like nothing new.
It's crazy.
It's literally what they've taught you all the time. It's crazy to me that, like, baseball thinks that these are the ways that we're going to get people back to being interested in the game. Like, you took steals away with the way you looked at it and the way you devalued it through analytics. You didn't have to make the bag bigger and completely change the rules to where it's not even like real stealing anymore.
He also said the bigger bag's a big difference too.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's definitely a big difference.
And he's like, look, you have the pitch clock, you have the comms, he goes, you go in a playoff game, you can't hear shit. He was like, the comms don't work. When you're in a playoff crowd and everybody's screaming and it's a hostile environment, you can't hear. He goes, it's not in your ear, it's in your hat. So it's like, it's crazy. He goes, like, there's some things that they're gonna have to, Major League Baseball's gonna have to figure out.
And now they're going to try to, like, really truly bring in the automated strike zone next year, I would imagine. So, like, that's another hurdle that players are gonna have to be like, good God, what is going on?
I'm trying to go to the game on next Thursday, the ALCS game. Game 4, ALCS in Texas, in Dallas.
That's game 4?
Yeah, so
how?
They start in Houston.
I know, but when does it start though?
Sunday.
And that game 4 is already in
Thursday. So you go Sunday, Monday, off on Tuesday. Wednesday in Texas, Thursday in Texas, Friday in Texas if necessary, and then 2 more. The last 2 are back in Houston because Houston got home field.
Houston does have home field.
Yeah.
So how would they be home Thursday if they start in Houston?
It's 2-3-2. Houston gets to end the game in the series in Houston, best of 7.
But you said they start in Houston.
Yes, so Sunday, confused. Monday.
In Houston?
Sunday and Monday in Houston.
Yeah.
2.
Off day on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday in Dallas. Thursday in Dallas. Friday. And if they have a 5th game, if necessary.
You're going to Dallas, and you're talking about going to Dallas.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to Dallas. The Rangers. I've never been.
I thought you meant you were going to Houston. I'm like,
Oh,
bro,
no,
what?
I'm going to Dallas. I've never been to the new.
Trying
I've
to
never
help
been
you
to
travel.
Global.
That stadium's dope.
I've never been,
It's
so I
dope.
want to go.
It's the
So-
weirdest thing ever too, with the actual scoreboard hanging like in the field of play. And like,
I know. I've heard a
dope.
bunch of different things. Now they say like the player side of the stadium is
No. I'm
the
telling you,
the craziest thing.
it's
you've ever seen.
unmatched. There's an actual jail, so somebody like Lloyd could be like in there.
Have a
There's a
drunk
jail.
tank?
There's a jail in the stadium.
I've been to the one in Houston.
What?
Hey, if you go, there's a speakeasy in the stadium too, so you need to go find it.
I'm gonna go find it. I just
Like, and it's fire.
I've texted all the guys that because I have more. I have some guys I know on Houston, but like the guys that I'm like boys with are on the Rangers, right? Like Josh Smith's family's going, so obviously that's out. Brad Miller's family's going
Out.
I have a couple lines. Bobby Wilson, my guy, my teammate, he's the bench coach. Hasn't responded to me yet. He responded to me.
I mean, I got some connections for you.
Yeah, we're working on
that
it.
for you.
Yeah, listen. I got some things out there. You know, it's gonna happen. I'm getting the ticket to go. So
Let me know if you need my help.
okay, thanks. Oh well. But the postseason has been exciting as it always is. I don't know what the TV ratings are of the postseason. I know the season itself was higher rated than it has been in the past. I'm hoping that the postseason is too because
Last night was
you're missing
electric.
out. Huh?
Last night was electric. If you
Electric.
didn't, I mean, I had Thursday Night Football on at one point, and then I was like, this game's a dud, and I don't care. And you have actual stakes over on Philly and Atlanta. I changed it once and never changed it back.
Well,
There's something about football, like I just can't turn it off when it's on.
Yeah.
And the way my TV and stuff is set up is I was Amazon TV, so I had to go all the way
That's
to
the
the Apple
problem.
TV,
That's the
and it was
problem.
hard to
That's
go
the
back.
problem.
So I just stayed on football last
Yeah.
night. I
That's
wasn't
the
very
problem.
happy about that.
The only time that works is if like you have not just a smart TV, like you have a TV where you have to go to like, hey, Amazon Prime's on like Apple TV, so you
Right.
change the input.
Yep.
And you just input. Okay, now I'm on Apple TV. Input. Boom. I'm on.
Y'all are so old. You
What?
Just HDMI your laptop in.
I'm not watching a game on my
And
laptop.
type
I'm watching it in my
no,
living
you
room.
put it in your TV. You type in a website, and you can go to the world is your oyster.
What? You still have to change the channel to move
You
games.
still got to change
It's
it.
different. It's
No,
completely different apps.
There's a website that has all of the games listed.
Well, it's
on.
the legal website. I'm paying for a subscription to something. I'm just going to use it.
That's what I'm saying. You can cut the cord for real.
No.
Okay, so then how am I going to watch Yellowstone?
Yeah, I've got a site for that too.
See. Now you have all these sites. And then
two,
next
you only
thing,
need two?
next thing your TV explodes because you have all these viruses on your TV because you're going to these things that are being generated in India or something.
Hey, it's free.
Yeah, exactly.
Then the next thing you know, the next week, and he's like, hey, can I get you login, dog? I'm trying to watch
Yeah,
this.
next thing you know, you hear some voice coming out of your TV speakers because someone hacked into your TV. Now you're getting spied on.
That would be awesome, dude.
You're
Now
a
T-Move's
More than
all
welcome.
over
As long
you.
as you put the game back on,
You're
you're
a
good.
weirdo. You're a weirdo.
Like what you see.
We're more of a
No.
football show right now, but who do y'all have going to the World Series? You have 4 teams left.
What
Who
are
do
the
you have
four?
on it? Huh?
What for?
You have Diamondbacks are playing the Phillies, and you have the Rangers are playing the Astros.
Astros, Phillies.
See, I think it's gonna be the Rangers Phillies.
I want it for my boy Marcus because
I
he's
know.
never been to the World Series. He's been I've had him as a curtain call before because he's a very, very, very underrated player and an even better dude. Something just tells me Phillies Astros. So.
All right, and that'd be a good one too. I mean, it couldn't go wrong. The Diamondbacks are hot. I don't think the Diamondbacks have enough firepower on the mound to do it, but they're playing lights out.
They've been hot.
Yeah, playing lights
so
out. Our
is
boy
Philly.
Merrill Kelly's been shoving. Zach Gallen's been shoving. Like they have been doing.
They've been hitting homers like nothing.
And
4 home runs in 1 inning.
And there's a world where the Phillies may have treated this like their World Series. A lot of things.
See,
coming
I
up.
don't think so, because they did the same thing last year.
Did they
you
win
know
the
what I
World
mean?
Series last year?
They got to the World Series. They didn't win it.
Wait,
but
why do you think they're treating this as their World
Just
Series?
they
because
treated the Braves series.
Oh no! I think they treated it as business. Like they knew
Yeah,
this
me
was.
too.
Yeah.
They knew this was like the collision course to get to where they wanted to go. That's what I think.
Also, that Phillies reporter's got to be banned from all clubhouses, huh? The one who videoed Arcia. That's how they got out. You know that, right?
Yeah,
It was a Phillies guy?
It was a Phillies beat reporter apparently that recorded it, like the video, and him saying it, and then it got
So
out.
I'm on the fence about that. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I get it. Like you're in the clubhouse. and that's supposed to be like your spot in our place, and I understand that.
I'm gonna be on your side too. I think what you're about to go
I understand, like I completely understand that, but this is game 170 at this point of the year. They've been in there every single game on the road, at home. They know your name. You know their name at this point. You know they're in there. So
be careful.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Like, be careful.
Well, look, and I'm on the side of both. I understand where both players are
I
coming
get it.
from.
I get it.
Listen, if I was in Harper's situation, I would have been pissed off too if I saw that happen, right? If I was in Arcia's position, I'd be pissed off that the guy recorded me and sent it out in the privacy of our clubhouse. But at the same time, don't say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you don't say it, and I'm saying, well, look, people in clubhouses say shit all the time. But you are in a situation where you know, like you said, you know people are going to be in there. You know that you're not just with the guys that you've built this bond with for the entire year. So you don't know what's going to happen.
And you know that there is a time where media exits.
Yeah.
So, like, why? I get it, but it's like, at what point are we going to just have enough savviness to just be like, hey, bro.
Yeah, just don't say it.
Just wait.
I love the way.
Just wait.
I love the way Harper and those guys responded to it. Obviously, I'm happy that they won. I'm happy they moved on. I think it's going to be Phillies-Rangers. I think it's going to be a great series. I want to see Nola get a World Series. Yeah. I want to see those guys get a World Series. Yeah. But on the other end of it, obviously, there's a bunch of guys on the Rangers I'd like to see win it too. So,
but I get it.
I got a lot invested into the postseason right now. I like it.
A lot of dudes we know, man. It's cool to see that.
We should go hit in the cage. I haven't swung a bat in 2 years.
I'm not against that. I could do that.
And I haven't done that. Honestly, this is no joke. I took a bat the other day. I was watching the thing. I'm just watching people hit. And I took a bat. You know, like sometimes when you get in your stance and you just feel like, damn, I feel like I'm ready to stop.
I feel good.
You feel like, oh, damn, like balance. Like you're like,
bro,
oh.
I do shadow stance stuff all the time.
Me too. And I'm sitting there.
Just usually not with a bat, but I do it all the time still.
Well, the only reason I had it is because I had just gotten my old bats from the storage unit because like I had a, whatever. And so I had one in my hand. And I'm watching. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I was like, damn, I've been just a feeling I try to feel forever. And I feel it right now. I hadn't picked up a bat in 2 years. I'm like, maybe I should not swing bats when I was playing and just.
Now you start to like feel and understand like the dudes that just
maybe I should go play.
Didn't do anything, but they balled, and you're like,
I see it.
This is how you do it.
It's not working though. It's like golf. Whenever you take off 2 months and you pick up a golf club, you forget everything that you do wrong. You're like, this is very easy.
Yeah.
The simplest form of the game. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I get it. I'm not thinking at all. Mikey's a big thinker.
I am a big thinker. I think my way out of a lot of stuff.
And into a lot of
some things. Yeah.
I don't know what the success rate is, but at least you're always trying.
I do not know. This is our Friday show. We love these conversations. We like just hanging out sometimes. Sometimes just come hang out with us. If we do go swing, if we do go to the cages to hit, maybe we'll get a little video and see how we feel.
See what it look like.
See what it looks like.
Where would we go? Oh, Marucci has that.
Yeah, we're LSU.
Yeah, y'all got some connections there.
Yeah, I could possibly get in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could get one out the infield.
I'm not talking about on the field, Coach.
I know. I'm just thinking.
I'd like to eventually take some batting practice on the field just to see what it feels like.
Yeah, just keep going around. Keep hanging. Break that glass back there.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna sign
Mikey up to play with Savannah.
Savannah Bananas.
Savannah Bananas are coming in town. My mother-in-law got me tickets.
Are you gonna go?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
We're gonna sign him. He's gonna be in uni.
I was doing.
Pull him out the stands.
Listen to me.
Woo! Your hometown hero coming on.
I'd be very uncomfortable.
What if Gordon sponsored you and you were 8'8",
I'd be very uncomfortable because they're gonna make me do things that I'm not good at doing, and that it's dancing. And I
coming out of smoke
without
with the Bulls theme song playing.
Now that ain't
like without me being under the influence.
Oh, you could be.
And even under the influence, I'm
of what,
not a
son?
great dancer. Have some. I'm not. That would be very uncomfortable for me. But if I had to do something to where like I had to like be coming out of smoke and like I still would be uncomfortable. I'd be uncomfortable the whole time. That's not me.
Play on stilts.
That's not. Yeah, definitely. I'd fall on my face. Those guys aren't great baseball players. They're great entertainers and they're
great athletes.
They understand. They have the motions and they know what they're doing. Like they're not bad. They're good athletes. They're entertainers and like it's not. Yeah. They're not supposed to be good at baseball.
You could have Jared go out there and throw with both arms. Not know where the pitch is. Yeah, not know where the pitch is coming.
Get your one.
They make a lot of money. They've done a really good job. That guy has killed it.
They're making money now.
Money.
Eric Burns' dream.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the Seggies. Lloyd, let's get to them.
I got a couple, just some things to dovetail off of, especially with baseball.
Good.
You
used to like baseball, so.
I do. I fell back in love yesterday.
No, you don't like it. You don't really like it.
There's so much drama going around.
You don't love baseball.
I do love you. Do you love it?
Don't.
Baseball's fun. Fun, sir.
Lloyd was a big talker when we started talking about I love baseball. And now
I don't think I've ever said that.
Oh, you did?
I said I used to love
You did?
baseball.
Nope. When we first started the show, I love baseball. That's what basically said. You hate baseball.
How many times did you go to Omaha, Mikey?
A bunch.
This year?
Well, the reason you went the second time is because I got you a private plane to go.
You didn't get me shit.
No.
I paid
I didn't get you that. I didn't get you on that.
you got me a seat.
I got you a seat. I'm not saying I got you a plane. I can't afford a private plane. But I got. What do you mean? I got you on there.
He did tell me that Mikey said he was going to foot the bill for this, and I was like, he didn't tell me that.
If I was going,
it's on my 2023 tax return, so it's for work.
It was like $200.
$500.
$500.
I had to fly there.
You know what the regular flight was there?
No.
$2,000. $2,000.
I had to fly to Fort Worth to get there. That's what I'm talking about. Thought it was all expenses paid.
Oh, Jesus.
But I love the game. That's why I went.
Guy.
Foot the bill. Mm-hmm. Go see my Tigers play.
Yeah, you did.
And win.
You rooted them to a championship.
I feel
Good
like
job.
I did.
All right.
My job.
Mistake of the day.
Jello shot them all the way there.
Mistake of the day
Love
is
baseball.
You're the mistake of the day.
That's what my parents say every March 5th. My birthday.
That was your plug at hopefully some people give you a birthday present. They're going to forget.
I hope so.
All right, mistake of the day is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place.
Mistake of the day brought to you by Doe's Eat Place is...
Got a lot of action, cards, and culture. How you doing, boys? Welcome.
How we going? Is... I'd hate to say it, but was Arcia triggered or no by the Phillies crowd in the dugout?
I saw that.
It's just tough.
You see Acuna like, hey, turn the fuck around.
Yeah.
Stop fucking looking back.
It's enough of this, yeah. It's enough.
Thinking he's having fun, thinking he's winning somehow.
Anybody who has these antics and
really
like
had the crazy
whole,
eyes
like,
going.
He doesn't like it.
That's an all-time move.
Like, anytime anybody does that, it's like, hey, like,
Bro.
all right.
He's over here.
Respect that by Acuna.
Yeah,
Respect that by Acuna.
Get locked in.
So that's the mistake of the day.
That's the mistake of the day. Is
I mean, Arcia lost a series for him.
I would say so.
Hey, there's a difference in turning around and speaking to the fans behind you and kind of giving a little bit back to them. That right there was saying, hey, you won, I lost.
Yeah,
you are officially swimming in my dome.
You're
right
officially in my head. And
no doubt.
A little second mistake of the day is Jake Mintz was the reporter. That
is that the guy from Cespedes Bar? No.
Yeah.
That is the guy from Cespedes Barbecue.
And that's not the mistake
I
of
like
the day.
Jake, though. I
That's
feel
what I'm
bad for
saying.
Jake.
The mistake of the day is Alana Rizzo, that called him a jack-off when she went on this rant about the clubhouse is sacred, da-da-da-da-da. And then the receipts came out about how she's like, I get in and I get out the clubhouse. Turns out she's a little bit of a homewrecker and stole a player's.
What happened?
She broke up a marriage.
Whose?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you're going to come in there with
Okay,
that type of allegation,
Let's say, whoa.
if you're going to come with that type of allegation,
I
I need
sent
to
it
have
to you
some
on
facts
Twitter.
behind
Can't
it.
swing for the fence like that and not actually bring me
sent
some
it to you on
facts, huh?
Twitter.
Alana Rizzo.
Where I put it.
She got caught up in an affair. Like, did they date? Was it just
she
kind of
broke
like
up. She broke up a marriage. I sent it to you on Instagram. Hold on.
Is she married to whoever this
That's
is?
my point. Did are they still together, or was it like?
I know
hey,
the name. Who? I can't picture her face right now.
She's a brunette. You know she.
I was about to say I know the name. I just can't
you've
picture her
seen
face right now.
Hold on, let me see where I found
Lloyd's over here at that diabolical
Lloyd's
search bar.
throwing these allegations out with no facts behind it.
That's not true. There's plenty of facts. Let me give it a Twitter search because it was all over.
Well, here's the deal. Nowadays, if you're going to come out and try to crucify somebody else for something they did, and you have some skeletons in your closet, boy, it's going to get found
the
out
receipts
quick.
came out quickly.
Ooey.
Hold on.
Lloyd's in a blender right now.
No,
I think
just-
Lloyd,
He's deep in a blender
Lloyd
right
just
now.
said this to make this clickbait by Lloyd right here.
No,
Well, I'm just waiting for him to
no,
tell us the browser's not refreshing right now.
No, I'm looking at it. There's just a lot of people are tweeting about it. I just have to.
I'm not-
Oh, she apologized.
She did.
Hate that.
He said, hate that.
Should call him a jack off.
Yeah, that's tough.
What a name to what does it say?
Weird.
It's tough.
It's tough.
Here's the deal. I've been in clubhouses where people say stuff about other guys. They don't really mean it. And I'm not saying Arcia probably got caught up in the moment, but at the end of the day, you said it and it got out. Whether you want him to hear it or not doesn't matter. You said it. He heard about it. And then he went berserk on you in the next game, and you lost the game. And now that's something that you got to live with all offseason with.
Yeah. Now you need to go put your nose in the corner.
Oh, Chris Iannetta.
Wow. The catcher.
I did not know that.
I did not know that. Is that like fact?
So is she like married with Chris? Is she?
No, I think they just broke up a 10-year relationship, and they
A relationship or marriage?
I don't know.
Okay. Either way,
But
not
that's
good.
what I'm saying. If you're to talk about how you conduct business and you get in and out of the locker room,
Pot calling the kettle black.
Sounds like you're lingering around Chris Iannetta's locker a little longer than most.
Yeah, that's
maybe
tough.
not his locker.
That's tough. All right, that's a good one.
Might as well get dressed.
Curtain call is brought to you by our friends at Shirt Partners.
And
Me?
okay.
Oh,
What we got, boys?
I touched on mine earlier. I'm gonna give
Touch
it
it
back
again.
to Nick Castellanos, man. First person ever to have back-to-back multi-homer games in a Major League playoff situation game, obviously, ever in the history of baseball. You know, baseball is all about the historians, right? But in the midst of it is, and he's kind of touched on it a few times this year, if you kind of listen to some of his
You can take it. Mine's his interviews. But
if you touched on some of his interviews and like press conference situations, but I love how he talks so nearly and dearly about his son and how much he's wanted his son to have these experiences. So it's really cool to see that if you get a chance to go look at last night again, his son was sitting basically right on the on-deck circle. So he kind of got to share that moment with him
Every
after
time
he
he
hit
hit
the
a home run,
homers
he'd point at him.
with him sitting right there front row. So I thought that was
Yep.
pretty cool. So I give it to Nick.
Yep. Lloyd?
mine is considering of what happened last year and who sealed the deal for LSU Auburn when you have the Greg Brooks play. LSU is now upped its game and painted threes on the field for.
Oh, that's awesome.
For the tilt against Auburn. I'd imagine they stay all year, but I thought it was a nice touch to go along with the numbers on the helmet.
Yep, love that. Good one. My curtain call is to our guy you just mentioned, Nick, buddy of mine. I got to play with him for a while in Detroit. One of my all-time favorite teammates. He is a character. He is funny. One thing that you can never take away from Nick is he is always going to be himself. He doesn't give a shit what anybody else thinks about him. What you see is what you get, and what you see in the interviews is exactly how he is. He is a smart ass. He is sarcastic, but he's also a good teammate, and he wants to win. And watching him have his interviews are very entertaining to me, right? There's a couple of them that he had last night that he had the internet going nuts about. This is one of them. Is this Chris Rose? Is that who that is? I think it's interviewing him. And Chris Rose is talking about how, Philly looks like a spot where you belong. It's a team in a city that, kind of fits you. You feel like you're the perfect fit. And this was Nick's answer. Just please, when you watch it, watch it.
Philadelphia works. It's the best fit. Would you agree with me?
You're asking me?
Yeah, you and Philly is the best fit. Nick Castellanos always needed to play for the Philadelphia Phillies. Am I onto something?
I mean, yeah, I fuck with Philly.
That's it. And he is straight-faced, no smile, even though Chris Rose is laughing his ass off. Zero smile. And honestly, that's what he does. Like, that's his personality.
Congratulations.
I've seen this a million times, and it's just whenever he gets the opportunity to do
there
this.
you have the great.
It is
Yeah, I'll fuck with Philly.
awesome, right? And then the other interview I have on there, you have to show the second one because the second one is also very good because he honestly makes this guy feel like an idiot. And we talked – Jared told you that he's the only player in Major League Baseball history to have two straight postseason games or two postseason games in a row with 2 home runs. Only person ever. The reporter on the field is asking him – not asking him. He basically makes a statement and doesn't ask a question, and Nick responds in the Nick way.
Let me get
We do.
Nick, nobody in Major League history has hit 2 home runs on back-to-back postseason games, but you just did, and you guys are headed to the NLCS.
Where's the question now?
There's no question.
Thank you for telling me.
I thought you'd be happy with that.
Thanks for telling me. We got 8 more wins.
Here's a
And look, some people may look at him like, damn, this guy's an
2
asshole.
home runs on
He's
back-to-back
not an asshole. People may he may come off that way. He is an awesome dude, wants to win. He is very, that's just his personality. It's very funny, and I respect it.
Try guy.
So,
He doesn't really care what you think.
he doesn't, and that's the one
That's
thing.
the
Like,
big thing about
that's
it.
the one thing I need you to understand is that he does not give a shit about anybody else. Like what they think about,
What
not
you,
about
what you
about,
think
like,
about
yeah,
him.
what you think about him.
Like
So
he's as genuinely himself as there is.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all we got for today. We appreciate all the love and support. We are looking forward to the game tomorrow. We'll be out there. We don't have a tailgate. We will be tailgating. We'll be mooching off other people's tailgates. LSU 41-20. That is my prediction. Lloyd's 35-17. Jared's 31-17. All the predictions say 11.5. Take the points for LSU. I think they do cover. I'm hoping they hit the over financially because I've already made that bet. But we love you. We appreciate the support. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't like and subscribe to our channel, or if you can't watch us and you like listening to us or anywhere you get your pods, we'll be back live in studio on Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Moffitt Mondays start next week. So Tommy Moffitt will be in studio at 6:15 breaking down the game that we just saw, that we are going to see tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Be safe this weekend. Drink Heineken Silver responsibly.
Bet responsibly. Happy birthday, Jared.
Happy birthday, Jared. That's another curtain call.
Celebrate me, yes.
25 years old. Unbelievable.
Ooh, y'all have a good weekend.
Reversing your age.
That's right.
Benjamin Button. Here we go.
Benjamin Button.